everybody, it's Tony back with you once again. We have just come out of a screening of the new Salem's Lot film. Me and Janine decided to go and watch this, spur of the moment really. I hadn't read into it, I didn't know that much about it, knew very little about it going into it. I don't think I'd even seen any trailers. But we watched Transformers 1 this morning and that was fantastic. And we thought, well, we're out for the day, you know what I mean? We've got the Omniplex for Wigan. We might as well go and check something else out. And this was the one that sort of tickled the fancy. And it's really damn good. It's really good. Now, I like the original film. The original Salem's Lot films, it's a good film, made for TV film. And it very much feels like that. And it's quite dated if you go back to it now. It feels dated. This, I was expecting a modern twist on it, and they don't do that at all, you know what I mean, without giving any spoilers away or anything. They keep it really 70s feeling, and it works. It works fantastically. It works for every individual character that's in there. The time frame that it's set in, because it's not modern, just seems to bring something more out of the film. It makes it feel, I don't know, more believable, maybe. Visually looks really good. A decent cast in it. Really good practical effects in some places. The makeup in that is really, really good. Location of Salem is really smart. It looks like a sort of little lonely community. That's sort of a little ramshackled. It's a little rough around the edges, and it gives off this real good character vibe to it. The way you get introduced to each character is very good as well. It's not too long of a film. I think it's an hour and 57 minutes. I think hour and 47, something like that. It's paced very nicely. Storyline pretty much identical to the original. You've got a few little sort of modern twists on it that work really well. The only one drawback for me was at the end of the film, there's some CG used in it. That's very poor. Now, there's other CG used early on in the film. That looks fine. But within the final 20-minute finale scene, there's some CG that's used. And it's used, I don't know, for maybe 4 or 5 minutes through the back end of the film. And it's pretty weak. If you see the film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the only bit that lets it down. Everything else works really, really well. Janine really enjoyed it. She's massively into the vampire genre. And believe it or not, I'd never seen the original film. She really enjoyed this, you know what I mean? She went in blind. She didn't know what she was expecting. She didn't know anything about the original. Went into this, really, really enjoyed it. If you are wanting to go out to the cinema and watch something and you're not 100% sure what to watch, honestly, give this one a try. It works really well. It's a fun little film. It's got, in places, it feels a bit like Super 8. It's got that old school, I don't know, vibe, close-up shots, the way it sort of plays out a little bit. It feels like Super 8, you know what I mean? There's no denying that it's taking influence from sort of like the more nostalgic films that there's been over the years. And they've run with it, but they made it work really well. Pretty much like Super 8 made it work. They made this work extremely well. It's definitely worth a watch. We checked it out on one of the smaller screens over at Omniplex that we have in Wigan. And it looked good. Sounded great. There was a few people in for the screening, which was good. And I think what it did, it brought a more younger audience. I think me and Janine were probably the eldest in there. There was a very younger audience in there that seemed to appreciate it for what it was. That seemed to enjoy it. It seemed to scream out to a younger female audience as well. There was a lot of younger women in there that seemed to enjoy it and be having a good time. but yeah, all in all, for a remake of a TV film that everybody holds on a pretty big pedestal, really. You know what I mean? I think it's a film that people are fond of. It works really well. It's entertaining. It's fast paced. It's a little gory in places. It's a little jumpy in places. Once the vampires have been turned, they look really good. It's nice that you never see full-on shots of any of the vampires. They're all sort of like in the shadows, and you can just see their eyes. And the main vampire, you only get certain shots of him, and there's only ever one real big, clean, like main shot of him in the film. And it adds to it. It adds to it quite a bit. But yeah, you know what I mean? I'd tell anybody to give this a whirl. It's better than a lot of things I've seen of late, and to be honest, it was quite under the radar for me. So I can only say the 4K looked very good when that comes out. It would hold itself up very well for a 4K transfer, for a 4K disc release. But yeah, if you're looking to check a film out, go and check this out. Obviously, you know what's going to happen. If you've seen the original, you'll know exactly what's going to happen. There is no sort of like twist in the story or anything like that. It is straight down Route 1. But they've done a really, really good job with it. So until the next review, take care, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.